voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced, threatened, or coerced you into entering the plea?
No, sir.
Has anyone promised you anything regarding what the sentence will be other than what's in the written plea agreement?
No, sir.
The other side of that, has Ms. Merrifield or anyone else told you if you do not enter this plea agreement today, you shall be sentenced to 30 years in jail or any definite sentence?
No, sir.
Okay. And your questioning is right. I just wanted to make sure that no one said,
Yeah, okay.
you better do this or you're going to be sentenced. Because if the jury found you guilty, I have no idea what I'd sentence you to.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Ward, I do accept your plea. I find that you're alert and intelligent, that your plea is freely and voluntarily entered, that you understand the nature of the charges against you,
Yes,
and are
sir.
represented by competent counsel with whom you state you are satisfied. I find that there is a factual basis for acceptance of the plea. So you're adjudicated guilty in counts 1 through 18 in 23 CF 1042. It's to the lesser included offense of possession of child pornography. It's 827.071, parens 5. In count 1, counts 1 and 2, you're sentenced to 60 months with the Department of Corrections with credit for all time served. All of these sentences are to run concurrently, run at the same time. And they're all with credit for all time served. On count 3, it's 60 months sex offender probation, and that's consecutive to counts 1 and 2. Right, so that'll be after you get out of prison. You need to pay the $40 per month cost of supervision, court cost, $445 in transportation cost to the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Department. Have no unsupervised unsupervised contact with any minor. You'll not be in a place minors congregate, and no electronic devices capable of internet. You may petition the court for internet use after completion of a risk assessment as allowed by the statute. You will be designated as a sexual offender. You'll need to fulfill all those statutory requirements and wear a GPS monitor. That will be at the minimum amount per day. The subject electronic device or devices are forfeited. You'll be on curfew while on probation from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., and that can be adjusted by probation for work or school purposes.
Judge, that was 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
What did I say?
6.
Thank you. From 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., I'm sorry. Count 4, 60 months. Well, counts 4, 5, and 6 are 60 months sex offender probation. Okay, it says counts 4 and 5 are consecutive to each other, but then count 6 is 60 months. Okay, that's also concurrent. All of those are concurrent. 4, 5, and 6, 60 months sex offender probation, concurrent. Counts 19 through 32 are dismissed. Counts 33 through 37 are as charged. Sentenced to 60 months sex offender probation, again concurrent with the other supervision. In 24 CF 13, count 1, it's a plea to the lesser included offense of battery. It's 784.03, sentenced to 11 months, 29 days in the Okaloosa County Jail. That's concurrent with the sentence, the incarcerative sentence in 23 CF 1042, again with credit for all time served, no contact with G.R. You'll serve a total of 120 months 10 years with the Department of Corrections.
And, Your Honor, if I
Tell me,
may,
yes, ma'am, please.
I believe count 2 should actually be consecutive to count 1. We know there's a lot of counts in cases to keep track of, so at the bottom, we did write that the intention of all parties is the 120 months or 10 years of Department of Corrections, followed by the 15 years of sex offender probation.
Okay.
So count 2 should actually be consecutive to count 1.
Thank you, ma'am.
Count 3 consecutive to counts 1 and 2, and so on.
Okay, so count 1 is 60 months with the Department of Corrections, and then count 2 is 60 months with the Department of Corrections, and that's consecutive to count 1, and then all the probationary sentences are consecutive to the incarcerated sentences.
Correct, Your Honor.
So it's a total of 10 years with the Department of Corrections, total of 120 months with credit for all time served, followed by a total of 180 months. That's 15 years sex offender probation.
Correct, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, now how do we get to 180 months?
So we are using count 3 as the main count that lists all the information. And then if you look at counts 4 and 5, those would run consecutive, and then all other counts would run concurrently to those consecutive probationary sentences.
Madam Clerk, I apologize. So count 3 is consecutive to the incarcerative sentence, count 4 is consecutive to count 3, and count 5 is consecutive to count 4.
That's correct, Judge. And the only other request, Judge, is we would request the cost of supervision be waived in lieu of all the financials, the incarcerative portion, and the difficulty with employment upon his release, because he will be required to pay for the GPS.
Mr. Ward, I'll waive the cost of supervision for the first 6 months after you get out. Mr. Ward, you do have 30 days to appeal this judgment and sentence. If you wish to appeal, it must be in writing. If you cannot afford an attorney to represent you for that appeal, one may be appointed for you. Do you understand your appellate rights?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Mary Field, for the record, while he is pleading LIO, I do believe even with Mr. Snell's case, it's still not a part of our term.
Let me grab my score sheet.
Right, it's 120 months, so it's not a downward departure.
Correct, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is correct, Judge. I was referring to the point value. So it should accurately reflect 117.45.
Yes, ma'am.
So he's gonna drop it to 40 for those.
Thank you, Mr. Ward.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Merrifield.
And Judge, that is all I have today, if I may be excused.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Nopes?
Judge, I just got a couple that we need to take care of. Judge Patrick Medina, Judge, the state and I have agreed, we're going to put him on April 8th.
Is Mr. Medina present?
Judge, he's an inmate.
Did they transport him?
No, I just spoke to him in the
Okay, good.
attorney-client room.
Please, if we can bring him out.
They're getting him.
Good, thank you.
While we're waiting on, I'm going to need Javier Sabio from them as well. Misty Shelby from them as well.
Okay.
So.
Come on, Mr. Medina.
Judge, on Patrick Medina, the state and I have agreed to put it on for April 8th at 9. I guess you've got a miscellaneous docket by chance?
Yes, sir. That's, other than this Thursday, that's the only other docket I have. So April 8th at 9 for what?
Judge, we expect a plea. We just got to get the details worked out.
Okay, so let's set it for plea or status, either one, and then the underlying case for May 13th. Good. So I'll see you no later than April 8th, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I'll be in touch when I get it down deal. Judge, I then have, make sure I don't miss somebody. Javier Sabio.
He's not here yet.
Oh, he's not? Okay. All right, and then Misty Shelby's probably not here yet? Okay. And then Mr. Lucas Simplicenia, no,
Mr.
we messed up, but he's here. Judge, we've agreed to put, David Snell and I have agreed to put it on for April 8th at 9.
Okay, for a plea?
Judge, we expect it's going to be some form of a plea or a dismissal or something. It's going to,
Okay. So I'll see you April 8th at 9 o'clock. Thank you, sir.
I'll see you.
And then if you continue.
Judge, and then the other one I've got is also an inmate. What time do you all expect them here?
Rachel, what do we, can you call and find out? Because probably folks in the gallery.
He's probably loading the bus, so there's no way for me to call and find out.
So loading in Crestview to come back?
And Crestview to come back,
Okay, so sounds to me like that's going to be a 1:30.
probably.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll zoom back in, Judge. I've got to be in
Okay.
Crestview.
Good. Okay, so if anybody's, do you have any inmates in the back for us?
I have two more,
Okay, who are they?
Jesse Smith with Mr. Cobb, and then Joshua Preston with Mr. Kilpatrick.
Okay. So if you're here for one of those two inmates, they'll be this morning. If not, then you can come back at 1:30 because the inmates won't be here until then. Mr. Cobb?
Jesse Smith?
Oh, Mr. Smith?
Can I have just a second, Judge?
Yes, sir.
All right, Judge, this is State versus Jesse Smith. He has a case here in Fort Walton Beach and a case in Crestview. I've spoken to both of the prosecutors in both cases. And as Ms. Gleason or Gleason from Crestvew's authorized me to file the necessary motion to have this Crestview case transferred here so I can resolve them both at the same time.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go back to my office and do that and do the proposed order. Can I put it on the miscellaneous day for a plea?
You
I
want to
think
do
it's
it on
April 8th.
Thursday?
I could do it on Thursday, yes, sir.
I mean, do you think you can pull it together by then?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I know that Mr. Smith would be grateful. if we
Well,
could do
that's it.
Thursday.
He's incarcerated. That's
Yes,
why
sir.
we're pushing it. So, Mr. Smith, I'll see you back here Thursday morning at 9, okay?
All right.
Is that
Thank
better
you.
than the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good.
I appreciate it.
What is the other case number?
The 2023 CF 2712, I believe, is our case.
Yes,
And then the other one from Crestview is 23 CF 2880.
Okay. So I'll see you on both of those cases Thursday.
And I'll get the motion orders done in just a minute.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Okay.
Judge, do you know anything about Chief Kilpatrick, or did you set that as a status?
I do not.
Status because there had been I believe Mr. Kilpatrick had somebody covering for him. You had asked
And he hadn't seen them.
if they had notified their client, and then when we spoke with their client later on,
And they said they hadn't seen
there
them.
had been no contact. Said it today to make sure that there had been contact.
Do you want me to bring them out?
Please, yes, ma'am. This is Joshua Preston, 23 CF 1731, 23 CF 2096. Mr. Preston, have you seen or talked to Mr. Kilpatrick?
Not since I've been incarcerated.
Okay.
But if the state's got a deal, I will sign.
Well, you've got an attorney, so I'll ask them to hold you, and I'll see you this afternoon at 1:30, okay? I sent a message to Mr. Kilpatrick, I thought, or at least I asked my judicial assistant to let Mr. Kilpatrick know that your case wasn't continued until May, that it was set for today. I will double check on that when I leave the bench, and then try to contact Mr. Kilpatrick directly and make sure that he's here either physically or by Zoom where you can see him this afternoon, okay?
Okay, is there a deal on the table, though, out of
Is there
curiosity?
an offer from the state?
It's a Department of Corrections incarcerative offer, Your Honor.
Okay.
So,
Prison
Is
is
there
what
probation? 'Cause I haven't been, it's been 21 years since I've been in trouble.
I understand that. I think right now, with the charge in 23-2096 carries with it a heavy offense level, and so as of right now, you do score a DSC. I'm not saying that's what the offer will stay, but as of right now, it's what it is.
Understand? Okay.
Okay, can I get set for a bond reduction to get my bonds back?
I need your attorney here, and so I'll see you back here at 1:30.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's all the inmates did.
Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I wanted to double check with Mr. Gomez before I did this morning, but I see that Shaquille Moon is on the docket, but we had continued him to the May 13th docket because we're trying to get him into vet court,
Okay,
which obviously could not have happened between last week and today.
Okay.
So I don't see any reason for him to be seen. Mr. Kleins and I were on the same page for that resolution. I don't know how it ended up for today.
okay, so it's continued to May 13th.
And Judge, I've got Mr. Klein's notes. I agree with what she just said.
Okay, good, thank you.
I'm here for everybody. The only other one I have on the docket is Crystal Ross, Your Honor, 23 CF 23. We had brought her back today to try and get it resolved. I think Mr. Snell and I are on the same page about a resolution, but Mr. Snell, in order to comply with Marcy's law, does need a few more days to reach out to the alleged victim in this case. And Your Honor, Miss Ross was here, but I knew I had to go back and forth. So the state agreed to release her. So we're going to ask to leave that on for Thursday at 9 a.m. And I would just ask that the court allow me to waive her appearance if we're not able to reach a resolution.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor.
You don't have any of the folks that are on Zoom, right?
No,
Okay.
I do not. I had to double check.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you, Your Honor. May be excused.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Moon is done.
Mr. Koch, do you have any folks on Zoom or any folks in the
I
gallery?
do have one inmate for him.
Oh,
He was
good.
on 2 lists this morning, so that's why he's already here.
Okay,
It's
yes,
DeAndre
ma'am.
Seymour Short.
Thank you. Yes, sir, Mr. Short.
Yes, Your Honor. Our office was recently appointed, Your Honor, so I sent my client today to see if we could work out a counter offer, but fortunately, we're still at the guidelines of DOC, so I'm asking if we could place this on the pretrial at 5/13.
Okay. Mr. Short, I'll see you no later than May 13th.
Thank you. Your Honor, may I call people in the
Yes, sir,
gallery?
absolutely.
I have Gloria Pettit, who's present and approaching. Gloria Pettit. There she is. This is 23 CF 1829.
Ms. Pettit? Hey,
Your Honor, I'm requesting if we could set this for Thursday. This will be a plea. It is a county jail offer, and just my client needs just a couple days to get her affairs in order. But this will be a plea on Thursday at 9 a.m.
good. Ms. Pettit, I'll see you Thursday at 9, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
See you Thursday. Yep. Then next is Robert Petty, who's present and approaching, Your Honor.
Hello, Mr.
How you doing?
Your Honor, speaking with Mr. Gomez, we worked out a plea. We have the outstanding DUI, and this state is asking for more time to review that DUI. So I have requested it to be set on that 5/13 pretrial docket, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Petty, do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir, that's fine.
Okay. And I'll see you back here on May 13th at
Awesome.
9.
Thank you. I'll be in
Yep. Ms. Chantel Paddock, who's present and approaching, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Judge, I set her for the docket day. Currently, her tribe is reviewing her to sponsor her for her rehab treatment.
Okay.
So that's pending in the works right now. I'm asking if we can put this on that 5/13 pretrial docket.
Okay. Do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
I'll see you back here on May 13th. I hope that the rehab works out.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yep, you're welcome. Next, Judge, is Mr. Justin Price in 23 CF 2345, who's present and approaching, Your Honor.
Hello, Mr. Price.
How you doing, Your Honor? Good to see you.
Judge, depositions were set the alleged victim failed to show, so we set it today to see if the state had any contact.
Good, to the state?
No, we haven't, Your Honor, but given the charges in this case, we're not in a position to dismiss it at this time. We're going to be continuing to reach out to the victim, but we're not ready to dismiss as of this moment. It's a fairly new case of waiting 23 years, so we need to have an opportunity to show.
Okay, so is it going to be continued in trial next time?
If that's what you would like, Your Honor,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
This is the second time this case has been up.
Okay. Mr. Price, so I'm going to continue it until May 13th, but I'm saying trial in either the end of May or the beginning of June.
Thank you, Your Honor, I
Thank you,
appreciate
sir.
it.
Yes,
You have a
sir.
good day.
Yep, you will. Next judge is Kiamara Ramirez, who is present and approaching, Your Honor, and this is in 23 CF 622.
Mr. Switek, while we're waiting on that, the jail still hasn't gotten here with the bus. Our best guess is that they'll be here at 1:30 when we start back.
At 1:30, okay.
Yes, sir.
I'll do my best.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor, this is Ms. Ramirez. If we can keep it set for the jury review day this Thursday at 9 o'clock?
Okay, so trial.
Yes, Judge.
So, Ms. Ramirez, I'll see you back here on Thursday at 9. We'll be looking at, if it's not resolved that day, then going to trial on March 25th or April 1st. Okay?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'll see you Thursday. Yes, ma'am. Judge, I have Mr. Gary Rawson, who's present and approaching, Your Honor, in 23 CF 2199.
Hello, Mr. Olson.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Well, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Judge, if we can keep this set for trial and put him on the trial review day this Thursday at 9 o'clock?
Okay.
This time the state's going to ask for continuance.
Okay.
Ready to cycle for this trial?
Has the state previously asked for continuance in this case?
Not that I'm aware of. I know that the defense has added a couple. I just realized. Have a chance to either depose them or talk to them.
Sure. Okay. Mr. Rawson, your case has been continued for the defense, for your side, so I've got to be fair to the state and grant their motion this time.
Yes, sir.
But I'm stating that it's going to be going to trial next time, okay?
Yes, sir.
So that means I'll see you on May 13th,
May 13th?
right, at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And then we'll be looking at going to trial at the end of May,
Okay.
if it's not resolved.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
That's our next one.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir. You're welcome. Judge, next would be Ms. Cheryl Rubin, who's present. Ms. Rubin? And this is 23 CF 578.
Ms. Rubin, you just want to sit there and we'll talk? I got it. Okay. Good.
You can leave this up there if you want.
Yes, ma'am.
I got it.
Thank you. Hi.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
No, I'm hearing impaired.
Yes, ma'am. It's okay.
Okay.
Do you have,
All right.
want to do some headset?
Okay, good. Good. Hold that for a
Yes,
minute.
ma'am. I got it.
They go like this?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Rubin, can you hear me? Hello,
I
Ms.
did.
Rubin?
Okay.
Hello? Okay.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Koch?
Judge, the alleged victim in this matter is deceased, so we did set it on the docket day to let the state have a chance to kind of review the file.
Okay.
So,
To the state?
We have reviewed the file, and at this time, the state's moving forward with the case.
Okay.
There's 20,000 or some odd dollars from restitution, so they can secure that, we can maybe work out that resolution to it.
Okay. So is the defense seeking a continuance?
no, Your Honor.
Okay. State, you ready to go to trial?
It's not not, I don't believe this case was set aside.
And you're right, Mr. Snow. So but it's not a plea, so you were seeking a continuance. I set it for plea continue, and if the
can't
defense
hear
isn't
anything.
seeking, if you'll turn up the volume on her headset.
I can't hear anything.
She can enter a plea today.
Yeah.
Understand? Right, yes, ma'am, can you hear me?
Is that volume
Yes.
up now?
Ms. Rubin?
Yeah.
Hello, Ms. Rubin? Ms. Rubin, can you hear me? Ms. Rubin, can you hear me?
No, I can't hear him.
Ms. Rubin? Hello, Ms. Rubin? Nope, okay.
Oh, there you go. Something happened.
Good.
Let's
Can you
see.
hear me now?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, well, somebody's seeking a continuance if you're not entering a plea. So who is it charged to?
Your Honor, if I may assist, if I could ask for just an offer on the record. My client, she wants to resolve this case. She also has pending medical surgeries coming up, and due to her GPS, they won't move forward with that. So if I could get the offer on the record.
Okay, Mr. Snow?
Okay, 5 years of probation to pay the restitution, and early termination automatic upon payment of the restitution. And I'd have to get that, I'd have to find out the exact, where that's paid to. I can't.
Okay. Do you know the amount of restitution?
I can find that out. It's like, I believe it's like $20,000.
Okay.
There was like, if I recall, there was 180,000 or 200,000 taken, and then it was stopped before she could spend the other part. So they received back all the 20,000.
Okay. So, Ms. Rubin, is that something that you want to accept? Or do you want to talk to Mr. Koch and we continue your case?
I can't hear him.
You want to take off the headphones? They aren't doing any good.
Ms. Ruby, you can take those off.
Take them off?
Yeah, you can take them off.
Okay.
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 Is that better? Can you hear me better without that on?
What I need to?
Can you hear me? Good? Can you hear me right now?
Huh?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Judge, is it? Let's see.
You want to just continue
Yeah.
Ms. Rubin's case
Out of state.
until Thursday?
Judge, she lives out of state, which is going to be a problem for her to come back.
What do you want me to do?
Ms. Rubin, you don't have hearing aids?
Ms. Rubens, do you have hearing aids?
I can hear other part of this here,
You need to yell.
Yeah.
Ask her.
Yes, Judge.
but not that far away.
Just said
Yeah.
trial last time? Okay.
Yeah.
Judge, if we could continue to the 5/13 pretrial, Your Honor,
Okay,
and this will be trial next time.
okay.
And if I could seek permission for her to appear virtually for that next pretrial, so I can inform her today.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But then you need to talk to Ms. Rubens about, she needs to be able to hear,
Yes, Judge.
okay? Even our hearing aids here aren't going to help her hear everything that's going on,
Yes, Judge.
okay? So you may want to write May 13th. I'll see her then.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right.
I assume Ms. Rubens doesn't know sign language.
Negative, Judge.
Okay.
Negative. All right, you have a seat, Ms. Rubin?
Okay.
I'll talk to you.
All right.
Briefly. Judge, my next client, I got Mr. Timothy Seifert, who's present virtually, Your Honor. There he is.
Good. Yes, sir. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Your Honor.
I'll do it next. Judge, speaking with the state, if we could put this on the 321, we're just finalizing a PTI contract. We're at that stage. If we could put them on Thursday, I'll be at Mr. Snell's office on Wednesday, and we'll be finalizing this.
Okay. Mr. Seifert, I'll see you here on Thursday at 9 o'clock.
And, Your Honor, if I could get permission for him to appear virtually, just because
Sir.
he's out of state.
Yes, sir. If he's entering a PTI,
Yes.
you're going to have him already signed by the time you come in?
No, but I will have the contract in hand, Your Honor.
Then how's that going to accomplish anything? It's not. why don't we just continue his case?
Okay.
One cycle,
Yes, Judge.
and then you can, hopefully, Mr. Savert, I'm just gonna
Yes, Your Honor.
continue, I'm gonna continue your case until May 13th at 9 o'clock. But between now and then, if all the paperwork is signed by everybody, then you'll fall off of my docket, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Judge, I have Mr. Ronald Phillips present in the courtroom in 23 CF 1578.
Mr. Phillips.
Your Honor, I sent my client today. He's appeared for every pretrial in person, but I need that appointment at my office. So I wanted to give him an extra card today and instructions from the court to just schedule an appointment for our next pretrial on the 5/13 date.
Okay. Mr. Phillips, really important, you've got to meet with Mr. Koch at his office. Mr. Koch, if I say that he needs to meet with you before May 1st, that would be possible, correct?
Absolutely, Judge.
Okay.
I just wasn't aware I had two attorneys, so I didn't know how to contact him too.
Okay, what'd you say about
I
two?
wasn't aware I had two attorneys on.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Well, just make sure that you make a meeting, attend a meeting with Mr. Koch before May 1st. If you don't, then I'm ordering Mr. Koch to let me know, and then I'll probably revoke your bond. But it sounds like it was just miscommunication.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so meet with him by then, and I'll see you back here May 13th at 9 o'clock.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Huh?
Judge, next I have Mitchell Smedley, who's present and approaching.
Thank you. Hello, Mr. Smedley. Good, how are you?
Judge, this is a cannabis case with outstanding FDLE we haven't received yet. I do have the motion to compel filed back in January. We set it today, I believe, to seek the state. Let's move forward.
So
Mr.
you're going to
Smedley.
set your motion to compel?
I filed it, Judge, on January 22nd. I didn't get a hearing date yet, depending on today, if we need to have that hearing.
Okay. The state, so when do you want to hear it? Want to hear it on April 11th?
That works for the defense, Judge.
April 11th at 2:30. Does Mr. Smedley need to be present for that?
I don't need him, Judge, no.
Okay. Mr. Smedley, you're certainly welcome to be here then, April 11th at 2:30, but you aren't required to be. I'll see you back here no later than May 13th at 9 o'clock. Okay. Thank you, sir.
We can touch, yep. Judge, next case I have is Miss Katrina Smith.
Ms. Smith.
Who's present and approaching, Your Honor, in 23 CF 1538.
Hello, Ms. Smith.
Hello.
Your Honor, my client wants to proceed with trial.
Okay. So Ms. Smith viewed the videos?
Yes, Judge.
Good.
Yep.
Okay. So is the state ready to go to trial on Ms. Smith's case?
That's out.
Okay.
I don't know if they have been returned.
Okay. So Ms. Smith, I'll see you on Thursday at 9 o'clock. We'll look at going to trial either next week or the week after that. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
I'll see you Thursday. Judge, next I have is Miss Serena Smith, who's present and approaching.
Hello, Ms. Smith.
Judge, my client is accepted into PTI. I just need the contract.
Good.
If we could put her down for Thursday.
Well, again, why don't we just continue her one cycle?
Okay.
And then if she signs all the paperwork, and if pretrial signs the paperwork, then you don't have to appear in front of me again, okay? So what you need to do is stay in touch with Mr. Koch. He'll get you the paperwork for the pretrial intervention. And as long as everybody accepts that before May 13th, you don't have to come back on May 13th.
So just check in with you
Yes.
every now and then.
And I'll call you when I get that contract.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Judge, next is Miss Valerie Spiller, who is present
Good.
on virtual link.
Ms. Spiller, Hello? Yes, sir.
Same scenario, Your Honor, accepted into PTI, just waiting on the physical contract in my hands. If we could put this at that 513 pretrial.
Okay, and when you say waiting for the physical contract, does Ms. Spiller have it? You're waiting it back
No.
from her?
Waiting for the contract to be generated from the state
Good.
judge.
Okay, good, Ms. Spiller. So, Ms. Spiller, I'll see you back here on May 13th if you're not accepted into pretrial. But if all that paperwork's finished, then you'll fall off my docket, okay?
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am?
Judge, and then I have Mr. David Steele present in the courtroom. Mr. Steele, and 23 CF 2113. Judge, I sent Mr. Steele here to see if we could finalize a counter. Unfortunately, we did not get the counter finalized. If I am seeking a continuance to that 513 date.
Okay. Mr. Steele, do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
I'll see you back here on May 13th at 9 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Judge, my last one should be Mr. Kareem Singleton.
No, that's Casey Walters.
I thought he was present earlier. This was a PTI contract we're waiting on, Your Honor, but we could pass Mr. Singleton.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. McKinney, you represent anybody in the gallery, or who represents Casey Walters? Mr. McKinney? Okay. And Mr. McKinney, you also have Mr. Walters on Zoom.
Yes, Your Honor. And coming with me to the podium is Nikki Smith. Ms. Smith is here in two case numbers, 21 CF 3255 and 21 CF 2090. Judge, I've been working with the state
Yes, sir.
to establish a restitution amount for a pay and dismiss in 21 CF 2090. I'd like to leave that case number set on your jury trial review, not set for trial, but only as a status, and I'd like the ability to waive Ms. Smith's appearance. She does have money set aside to effectuate that pay and dismiss.
Yes, Your Honor, it's just, I was playing phone tag with the victim this weekend, so once I get that number.
Okay.
And procedurally, in 21 CF 3255, I'm going to request a continuance to 513. We're working on a PTI in that case.
Okay, good. So if you're not accepted into pretrial intervention by May 13th, then I'll see you on May 13th
Okay.
at 9.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Lisa Walker, and then I'll call Mr. Walters on Zoom.
Okay. Hello, Ms. Walker.
Judge, this is Lisa Walker before the court in 23 CF 2470. Or did you read it through?
Yeah.
Judge, this is set on the trial docket, but we have reached an agreement for PTI.
Okay.
We have got the document. She has reviewed the document. I've explained the document. She just needs to take the document to Ms. Varese at the probation office. I'm going to ask for a status date on Thursday, since this is a plea or trial case.
Okay.
I'm going to ask that Ms. Walker take this to Ms. Varese in the probation office right now,
Good.
to see if she can go ahead and get that entered.
So, Ms. Walker, I'll see you on Thursday at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
As long as that paperwork, you take it down there and they accept it, then your case will be, at least it'll come off of my docket.
Okay.
But I'll see you Thursday at 9 in any event.
Okay.
Thank you.
Casey Walters is before the court in 23 CF 1976. Judge, he's present via Zoom. Mr. Walters, can you start your video and unmute? Mr. Walters, can you hear us? Judge, is there something down here? Oh, there he is.
Yes, I can hear you.
Good. Thanks, Mr. Walters.
Mr. Walters is present on Zoom because he lives in Texas. We have reached an agreement that is going to necessitate that Mr. Walters enter a plea in person, and he would need to report in person to probation and seek a transfer of supervision. He knows that there's a $100 fee to establish him being able to transfer out of state. So I'd like to procedurally, I'd like to continue the case, and I'd like to set this for one of the April dates for an early plea, so we can schedule his early plea and his travel over here. Mr. Walters, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
What date did we decide on was going to be best to travel on the April dates?
18th?
The 18th? Judge, can we ask for early plea on April 18th
Yes,
at
sir.
9 a.m.?
Right. So it's set for April 18th at 9. The underlying case is set for the May 13th. But, Mr. Walters, that means I'll see you on April 18th at 9 o'clock, okay?
All right.
Thank you, sir.
James Ward, followed by Kaylin Williams. Mr. Ward is approaching in 23 CF 1151. The agreement that's been reached for the state, with the state, is for a plea as charged in count 2 and 3. Count 3 is a misdemeanor, it would be time served. Count 1 would be dismissed by the state. In exchange, Mr. Ward is going to be accepting 2 years probation with special conditions of a substance abuse evaluation, random urinalysis, $615 in court costs, $150 cost of defense. May I approach with that agreement?
Yes, sir. It's $40 per month cost of supervision. And what is the adjudication?
The adjudication will be withheld. Mr. Ward is currently unemployed at the moment. We'd ask the court to consider waiving all or a portion of the cost of supervision.
Thank you.
May I approach?
Yes, sir. Mr. Ward, if you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. Mr. Ward, did you read the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Did you discuss it with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Did he answer all of your questions?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ward, how much money do you make per month?
Maybe a couple $100 tops.
Okay. How long have you been making such a low amount of money?
A few months.
Okay. How much money were you making before that per month?
Unemployed. Wasn't making.
Okay. Is there a reason why you can't work?
I don't have a ride right now. Grandpa's sick of the house, off and on, quite frequently.
So staying with your grandfather?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Ward, I do accept your plea. Adjudication is withheld. You're sentenced to 2 years probation on count 2. Count 1 is dismissed. Sentenced to time served on count 3. You'll need to submit to a substance abuse evaluation within 30 days from today. Begin any treatment within 60 days from today, if it's recommended. Submit to random urinalysis. Not have any drugs or medications without a valid prescription. You need to pay the court costs, $150 public defender's fee. Submit to random urinalysis. The court does waive the cost of supervision for the first 3 months, but after that, you'll need to pay that. Thank you, Mr. Ward.
Thank you.
Okay. Talk to probation on the way out. Kaylin Williams. Ms. Williams is present and approaching in 24 CF 6. Judge, we have reached an agreement for Ms. Williams that contemplates a plea as charged, a withhold of adjudication, 24 months of probation with special conditions of a substance abuse evaluation, treatment if recommended, random urinalysis, $615 in court costs, $150 cost of defense. Judge, we're going to be requesting that the court waive all or a portion of the cost of supervision. May I approach with a document that I do not wish entered into the record?
Okay, yes, sir.
May I approach?
Yes. Ms. Williams, if you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Williams, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, thank you. Okay, so do you have a
Approach with
plea
plea
agreement?
agreement?
Please. Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Williams, did you read the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you discuss it with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did he answer all of your questions?
He did, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with his representation?
I am. Yes, sir.
Did you sign the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Williams, I do accept your plea. Adjudication is withheld. You're sentenced to 24 months probation. You'll need to submit to a substance abuse evaluation within 30 days from today. Begin any treatment if it's recommended within 60 days from today. You'll need to submit to random urinalysis, not have any medications or drugs without a valid prescription. You need to pay the court costs, $150 public defender's fee. The court does waive the cost of supervision. Ms.
Thank you.
Williams, thank you, ma'am.
Johnny Young. As Mr. Young approaches in 21 CF 1302. I may have a question for probation. The offer for Mr. Young contemplates 24 months of drug offender probation. In discussing that in full with Mr. Young, he works from 10 o'clock at night until 6 o'clock in the morning. He also has a day job.
But I'm not going to be doing a day job no more.
Okay. Which we're making sure on the front end that we're not going to run into an issue with the curfew, and that probation can monitor or modify the curfew so that he can keep his employment. I need to draft a plea agreement for Mr. Young, but before I did that, I wanted to make sure that I was advising him correctly and that we weren't going to run into an issue with the curfew. Probation, if an individual has a curfew and works a night job from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., and that person has an additional day job, how would we effectuate a curfew, and what would be the best language?
I believe the best verbiage would be to, as long as he maintains his job in the evening, which would be covered by the curfew, it would not be in effect, as it were, but were you to lose your evening job, the curfew would come into play.
Okay, so probation could work through that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Judge, that being said, I do want to draft a written plea agreement for Mr. Young, if I could call him back in just a moment.
Okay. How you may want to word it is that the traditional curfew from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. is stayed or is not effective as long as, is not in force, how about that? Is not in force at this time because Mr. Young has a nighttime job. Probation can reinstate the curfew if Mr. Young's jobs deviate or if they change. How about that?
Okay.
But I would think that'd probably be the easiest. So basically, there's no curfew initially, but then probation can reinstate it if your job situation changes.
I ain't trying to change his job.
And of course, that's subject to employment verification. I've discussed that with Mr. Young. He has no issue with that. But Judge, if I may write that out to make sure that it's clear
Okay.
in a plea agreement and call Mr. Young back, then we
Good.
should be able to enter the plea agreement.
Good, thank you. Thanks, Mr. Young.
And Judge, there's an individual by the name of Kelly Young in 23 CF
Somebody that's trying to come on an iPhone.
1656. I'm hoping that's Mr. Kelly Young, who currently resides in Tennessee.
Hello, on the iPhone, who is that?
Kareem Singleton?
Okay. Ms. Singleton, who represents? Mr. Koch?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Mr. Koch is coming to the lectern.
Yes, Judge, there he is. Thank you.
Good.
Judge, I'm seeking a continuance to the 513, finalizing, it looks like it's going to be a PTI offer.
Okay. Is it Mr. Singleton or Ms. Singleton?
Kareem, Mr. Singleton.
Mr. Singleton. Mr. Singleton, I'll see you back here. I'll see you back here on May 13th at 9 o'clock. If the state offers you something, or if you're accepted into PTI and you do all the paperwork and they accept you, then you'll fall off my docket, okay?
Okay.
Good. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Judge, I've been in good contact with Kelly Young. I'm unsure why he's not present on Zoom. We're trying to reach an agreement with him in Tennessee. If I could just place this on Thursday's docket, not set for trial, but just as a status, if the court would allow that.
Okay, and that is who, Young?
Kelly Young.
Kelly Young.
I'm sure that the state could jump up and ask for a capias because he is not present in the courtroom today.
I was looking to see, how did we leave it last week? Is it
Was
plea
plea or
continue?
it was plea or continue,
Okay.
because we're trying to work towards an agreement. It's not set for
Yes, sir.
trial.
So we'll just continue it until Thursday at 9.
Yes, sir. Thank you. There is an individual who is pro se.
Good, please.
In the courtroom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's your name?
Donald Sanders. Yeah, you told me just to come back because I'm illiterate, so I didn't fill out the paperwork. So I filled it out like you told me last week. And I guess I turned it in, I put lines, I was supposed to circle them, I put lines because I didn't have no.
Judge, you filled out a written public.
I filled out one already though today, so yes, I did that because I was like, he's gonna make me fill out one anyways.
Okay, and the 2,000, is it per month?
Yeah, that's what I estimated it at, as of right now, because I've been slow.
Okay. Okay, so I do appoint the public defender to represent you.
Thank you.
Mr. Sanders, and this is case number what?
I didn't know what to do today, so I was like, I'm just going to court so I don't go to jail.
It's better to be here than not be here.
My boss was like, you better get into court.
Madam Clerk, what was that number?
246.
What was that number, Madam Clerk?
So,
Thank you, Mr. Brown, by the way.
Continuance?
Madam Clerk, do we? Okay.
Yeah, I called this morning too, and they was like, it's not showing. I was like, well, I'm going to court. And then she was like, wait a minute, it says something 18th. I was like, phew.
Judge, I am going to request a continuance until the 5/13 date. I'm going to write that date down on one of my cards.
Good.
Even though this may end up being Mr. Koch's case, but I want you to call the office and let them know that you need to make an appointment with somebody at the office.
All right,
And I'll
thank
see you
Mr.
back here May 13th at 9. Thank you for being persistent.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yes, sir. Okay, the other folks in the gallery? Mr. Mosley?
Judge, I'm standing in for Mr. Kleins today. May I have a moment, Judge?
Yes, sir.
And Judge, I believe he was here on the 3/11 date for pretrial. Mr. Klein's notes are to request a continuance until 5/13. It doesn't appear to be on the trial docket.
Right. Mr. Mosley, I'll see you back here on May 13th at 9 o'clock, okay?
Do you have one of
Thank
Mr.
you.
Klein's cards? Make sure to make an appointment with him.
Okay, and the last gentleman in the gallery?
Judge, I have to prepare a plea agreement to Mr. Young.
Gotcha, that was Mr. Young.
And then
Okay.
the remaining clients I have are incarcerated.
Okay. Okay. We're in recess until 1:30. Thank you.
Yes, Judge.